Great views today. We're still heading up to Angletarn, following the main footpath. It's a Friday today and it's very busy. There are more people already in the first half hour than I saw all day yesterday. There's Angletarn. And I assume Angletarn Pike is up there. I might have to try and pick out that path. I can just nip up onto the pike. Yes, I managed to find a path, very faint, to the top of Angletarn Pike. Looking down on Angletarn. Fabulous. There we go in the distance, Brock Crag. So I followed the main path up past Angletarn, and then there's a path veering off the main path heading over to Brock Crag, which is where we're heading now. Might have a sandwich up there. It looks a bit quieter than where we've been. Summit of Brock Crag, Angletarn. So we're heading over there next. So here we are again, rest Dodd. I've had to come back up to basically drop back down to the nab. I tried walking up the nab yesterday and following one of Wainwright's old routes whereby you start from a bungalow at the bottom, and it's all now no access, so it's all closed. Now the nab is a deer park, so I did understand that it's quite difficult to get to. So last week I was here and I should have turned left and did the nab before coming back up to Rest Dodd and then continuing to the Knott, which is behind me. So I'll turn round and show you the nab. There you go. That's where we're heading. We're going to drop off Rest Dodd. So that's a mistake I've made, and hopefully other people won't. Well, this is the top of the nab and the sun's just come out. How good is that? Wow. Right, I'm back at Rest Dodd, having gone to the nab and back. Just to let you know, it's pretty much a mile there and a mile back. It took me about an hour, which you need to factor into your day. Just dropping down the side of Rest, and that's Knott ahead. I think the path, I'm hoping there's a path. I can just about see one skirting up the side of that wall, which is what we're going to try and take, and then we hit the higher ground beyond. Well, this is a cairn at the Knott. Yeah, that's Rest Dodd, where we've just come from. It was very steep, but as you can see, the path does follow the wall and take you to the top. So that's where we're heading next. Just nipping over to High Raise, not too far, then back down, then we're going up there to Kidsty Pike. The summit of High Raise, stands all over it. That's Kidsty Pike. That's the Knott, which we're going back to, and over there is High Street. There we go, Kidsty Pike. High Street over there in the background, so we're going to follow that ridge line. I'd actually not realised, but I'd walked over Rampsgill Head there earlier and didn't take a video when I was on it, but that's actually a Wainwright, and that was High Rise over there. It's we've made good time actually from me worrying earlier. It's now 3:25. We've only got 2 to do. We've got to climb over there and then follow the ridge down. This is the cairn at High Street. So this is a path coming off of High Street, and you can see just on the horizon there the beacon at Thornthwaite Crag, which is the next Wainwright. I think I've done most of the height now, because it looks like I'm descending for a bit, and then I'll a small climb up to the beacon, and then I'm going to follow the ridge all the way down there to graze. This is a beacon, Thornthwaite Crags, right imposing. Must be 12 foot high, and you can see it from a way away. Approaching the cairn at the top of Grey Crag. This is the last one of the day. There's 10 we've done today. Pretty good. I'm expecting it to be downhill most of the way now after this. Not sure if you're getting how steep this is, but very steep descent. Very steep descent. Eventually we'll drop down onto that track and following it round. A well-earned drink at Hayeswater Gill. This is at the bottom of the very steep descent. I don't know if you get that, but we've pretty much come down the side of that. Yeah, extremely steep. I'm glad I did the route this way around. Yeah, these two are thoroughly enjoying the water. So, Route 7, Friday the 22nd of April I did this climb. It's quite going to be quite a difficult video to make, because it's just strewn with what I should and shouldn't have done. So where do I begin with all the various errors? It's a very straightforward footpath. Let's start first and foremost. You follow the footpath up to Angletarn. Now I decided at this point to do Angletarn Pike and also Brock Crag, which is either side of the tarn. I suggest you don't do this. You save your time, save your legs, and you add this to Route 8, which is Place Fell. You'll see why when you're watching Route 8. So I suggest you carry on past the tarn and head up to Rest Dodd. So when you get to Rest Dodd, I had not realised that at that point it's the only opportunity I have to climb the nab. I thought, looking at Wainwright's old books that were written 50 odd 60 years ago, that you can go up the nab from a bungalow at the bottom, which you can't. So when you get to Rest Dodd, I strongly recommend you take the opportunity to turn left, drop down a short, sharp, steep bank, head across to the nab. Otherwise you're not going to get the nab done at all. Following on from this, you're back on route. So if you go the way I'm suggesting you do now, you will have done 2 climbs at this point and not 3. You drop down, which is quite a steepish short descent, to climb up the side of the wall up the Knott. And I seem to remember this was quite a steep short section. So once you get to the top of the Knott, all of a sudden things come into place quite rapidly. You've got obviously the Knott, you've got High Rise, you've got Rampsgill, and you've got Kidsty Pike, all within a very short distance of each other, with very little climbing between them. So all of a sudden you tick off quite a few climbs within a very short space of time. So any worrying that you might have done about how far the day was going to be, all of a sudden disappears. Indeed, I went over Rampsgill without even realising that I'd done a Wainwright. I didn't even realise that it was that insignificant, the climbing. So having done High Raise, you then head across to High Street. Now it's a high point of the day, and then there's a shortish descent, ever so gradual, before you've got a short rise back up to Thornthwaite Crag, which is a huge beacon, absolutely huge. You can see it for miles from all over. And I hadn't realised the significance of this beacon at the time, but with the various routes I'm doing over the next coming weeks, it did come into view quite often. And indeed it was a high point of another walk that I'll come across in a few videos time, when it wasn't even one that I was backing for the day. This brings me on to the descent down Grey Crag. There's two Grey Crags, and this Grey is with an A, and it's a lovely walk. The only way you can really get to it is off Thornthwaite Beacon, and but it's a very, 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 very steep descent. I'd stand off the lead, despite the fact that there's quite a lot of sheep around, because he's good enough now to do as he's told and stay close to me. But I just couldn't have got down with two dogs on leads. I'd have ended up falling. I mean, the walk I did was 15.5 miles and 3,900 feet of climbing. It took me about 6 hours with walking, and about 7 if you take away sandwiches and map reading, videoing, etc. However, what I'm suggesting is you actually add another hour on, albeit you do take 2 climbs off. So an 8-hour day still, and but it's the only way you can really get the nabbing. All in all, it was a fabulous day. Having have to redo that day to get back up to the nab, I actually thoroughly enjoyed the climbs. Probably one of the best ones so far in the lakes. Great day.